of the cremation of Sidhu Moose Wala, emotions run high outside the residence of Sidhu Moose Wala. You can see his supporters, his family members, his friends who have gathered outside the residence, and they are, taking the name of Sidhu Moose Wala. They are speaking about Sidhu Moose Wala. We'll try and speak with a few of them. आप लोग सब आज बाहर खड़े हो, सिद्धू मूसेवाला के लिए क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
बहुत माड़ा काम है बस, इस तरह कुछ नहीं कहना।
लेजेंड था, लेजेंड पंजाब का लेजेंड था वो, सभी उसकी चढ़ाई से लड़ते थे।
आप इसी गांव से हो?
हाँ, हम बहुत दूर से हैं, गुरदासपुर जिले से हैं।
आप गुरदासपुर से हैं? जी। आप कहाँ से?
हम पत्ती से, लुधियाना जिला में से।
आप लुधियाना से हैं?
हाँ जी।
तो आप लोग इतनी दूर से ट्रैवल करके आए हो?
हाँ जी।
प्यार है उसका, सिद्धू भाई का, सिद्धू भाई से प्यार था इतना, इसलिए।
आप कहाँ?
चंडीगढ़ से। हाँ जी।
The emotions that run high, people coming from far across to see him for one last time, speaks for the kind of fan following he enjoyed. With video journalist Pradeep Gupta, this is Shreya Chatterjee for India Today.
Now remember, Sidhu Moose Wala's music resonated with the youth at large, and not just in India. He had a huge, massive fan following among the Punjabi community globally. He had worked with several international rappers too. Sidhu Moose Wala, of course, had the kind of fame that one could only dream of at his young age of 29. He was barely 29, and he had shattered records when it came to musical hits. In fact, he had openly promoted gun culture, spoke extensively about the underworld and the gangster vibe that he gave out through his music time and again. That sort of resonated, it appears, among the youth. And it appears now that that one of the songs that he sang just before his death, a very recent release of his, spoke about the final journey. And it seems like, unfortunately, ironically, that's exactly the fate and end Sidhu Moose Wala has had to himself. Let me cut across to Shreya, who's been tracking those developments. She's been, in fact, constantly giving us reports from the ground, right from Sidhu Moose Wala's village, where you see a large sea of supporters and fans who've gathered only to pay their last respects. Shreya, what do you see behind you? I mean, we know the crowds are overwhelming, and it's very tragic and very heartbreaking to see that their icon, Sidhu Moose Wala, who they really loved, cherished, followed, and had this kind of undying love for, has been murdered brutally. His untimely death has really sent shockwaves across, and we can only understand why there's that many people who've shown up to get one last glimpse of him. Have you managed to speak to some of them? What is their appeal or their grouse at this point while they mourn his death?
Well, yes, Nabila, you know, since morning we've spoken with some of his followers who gathered outside the residence of Sidhu Moose Wala. Now, these are people who've travelled afar to just get a last glimpse of him, but they're very angry as well, because obviously for security reasons the Punjab police didn't allow all the people who had gathered over there to get inside the house. The house was completely secured. There is heavy security that's there. So, you know, there is emotions running wild as well. We see sloganeering against the Punjab police as well from the side of the followers. And these people have gathered from early in the morning, Nabila, just to get one glimpse. We've also spoken to them. They've come from places like Gurdaspur, Chandigarh, Delhi. And right now, they're also raising questions about the security lapse that resulted in the death of Sidhu Moose Wala. They had posters in their hands calling him a legend can never die. So you can understand the kind of emotions that is right now running in Musa village in Mansa district.
Right. You know, at this point, there's also a lot of talk about the kind of investigation the Punjab police is currently carrying out. We know that Lawrence Bishnoi, the man who's in the spotlight right now, his lawyer has appealed to court saying that he fears that the Punjab police will encounter him. But what's the sense you get from the Punjab police? In what direction are they investigating? Because Goldie Brar has come out openly claiming, staking claim of this murder, saying that I've done it at the behest of Lawrence Bishnoi. But is the police really believing that statement by Goldie Brar, or are they carrying out a parallel investigation to really see what the fact is?
Millard, they are believing the statement of Goldie Brar because the first press conference that was done after the death of Sidhu Moose Wala, very clearly we saw the Punjab police accept the gang rivalry angle. They also mentioned about the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, Goldie Brar, as well as the fact that they acknowledged that this was a revenge killing of that of Vicky Midhu Khera. But also they will have to conduct a parallel investigation because anyone can claim a thing, but that has to be corroborated, match the investigation, the trail of events as well as the technical evidences. So that's something that the Punjab police is doing. But a lot of questions that are also being raised because it's been over 24 hours, more than 24 hours, and there hasn't been a word about the arrest. But what we're also picking up from our sources in Punjab police, they're very tight-lipped because of the fact that this is a sensational case. What they are probably once the cremation is done, when the emotions are a little stable, probably we might see a word from the Punjab police. But right now there have been detentions and there have been investigation so far basis on the technical evidence. So we'll have to wait for the official word on the arrest as of now.
All right, thank you very much, Shreya. We're going to continue tracking the cremation, which will happen shortly from now. But now the Sidhu Moose Wala's mortal remains has been kept at his village, where you see an ocean of fans who have just arrived to get one last look. Meanwhile, a sensational angle has now emerged in the investigation of Moose Wala's death. India today has accessed a dossier on Canada-based gangster Goldie Brar, who claimed responsibility of Moose Wala's murder. Among Goldie's associates, the name of Rajasthan's gangster Sampat Nehra is also mentioned. Nehra had carried out a recce of Salman Khan's house in Mumbai in the year 2018, plotting against the Bollywood star. India today has now also accessed a video which shows a brazen display of threat to actor Salman Khan from 2018. Gangster Lawrence Bishnoi, when in custody, was caught on camera issuing a threat to Salman Khan, saying that he will kill Salman Khan in Jodhpur. In a separate video, Salman Khan was also caught retorting to the gangster's threat, saying that a commitment should be made positively and that no one can hunt like tigers.
पूछा उनसे भी लेकिन आप इतना डाउट क्यों है आप इतना बुखार हो
क्रिमिनल हुई मैं तो स्टूडेंट पॉलिटिक्स में था और फिर जब हम करेंगे तो पता लग ही जाएगा सलमान खान का करेंगे मारेंगे ही जाएंगे जोधपुर में मारेंगे तो पता लग जाएगा इनको अभी तो मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं अभी नहीं मतलब कोई इन्वॉल्व कर रहे हैं
जब भी कोई कमिटमेंट करो तो पॉजिटिव करना नेगेटिव नहीं करना और शिकार टाइगर जैसे शिकार कोई नहीं करता है ना ये सबको पता है
All right, now Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, meanwhile, is facing extreme criticism for making security downgrade, for in fact cutting down several high-profile people in Punjab in their security by half. The AAP government came under heavy fire from the opposition parties for a poster that they shared on the party's Twitter handle that mentioned Sidhu Moose Wala's name while declaring openly that his security has been downgraded. BJP has sought strict action by the Punjab police, calling it a criminal act, saying that the party is behind Sidhu Moose Wala's killing. Punjab High Court, meanwhile, has pulled up Mann government yesterday, asking how secret documents pertaining to the security withdrawals were leaked. Sidhu Moose Wala was among the 424 people whose security was withdrawn by the Punjab police on Saturday, just a day before his gruesome murder in Punjab's Mansa district.
जिस प्रकार से सिद्धू मूसेवाला की निर्मम हत्या दिन दहाड़े की गई है, ये एक स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड मर्डर है जिसके लिए आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार पूर्ण तरीके से जिम्मेदार है। जिस प्रकार से उन्होंने 424 लोगों की सिक्योरिटी को बिना कोई तथ्य या तर्क के विड्रॉ किया और केवल वाहवाही सस्ती लूटने के लिए उन्होंने इस लिस्ट को सार्वजनिक किया। आज पंजाब में ऐसी स्थिति आ चुकी है कि वहां पर कानून व्यवस्था पूर्ण तरीके से ध्वस्त हो चुकी है।
Now, meanwhile, 29-year-old Lawrence Bishnoi, the dreaded gangster who is currently in custody, he's a prime suspect in this murder of Sidhu Moose Wala. Bishnoi has been questioned by the Delhi police as well. So, son of Haryana police constable, Lawrence Bishnoi, who rose to fame through all the college politics. He later enrolled himself for a law degree. That's where his tryst with illegal activities began. This is also where he came into contact with Goldie Brar. Together, they've become crime partners today. Let's have a look.
A gang that has terrorized much of North India. operating stealthily even from top central jails. A gang that has claimed the brazen daylight murder of Punjabi rapper Sidhu Moose Wala. And now for the first time, the dreaded Lawrence Bishnoi gang is on television. Exclusive images of the Bishnoi gang being paraded by the Delhi Police Special Cell in 2021 after taking them into police remand under the Maharashtra Control of Organised Crime Act, Makoka. Bishnoi is seen wearing a black t-shirt, green shoes and close-cropped hair. Rajasthan gangster Sampat Nehra, who once carried out a reconnaissance of actor Salman Khan's house, can also be seen in these images accessed exclusively by India Today. The other gangster in these images are Jaggu Bhagwanpuria and Haryana's Kali Rajput and Raju Basodi. 30-year-old Lawrence Bishnoi, the son of a former police officer, is a law graduate. He met Goldie Brar in 2009 during his stint in Punjab University. The two rapidly rose in the world of crime after fighting for supremacy in university politics and a series of ruthless murders. When Goldie Brar fled to Canada, Bishnoi kept running the crime empire from Tihar Central Jail. Anybody who owed allegiance to rival gangs or stood against the Bishnoi gang was neutralized, like pop star Sidhu Moose Wala. The Bishnoi gang allegedly wanted to avenge the murder of Akali Dal leader Vicky Midhukheda in August 2021. Since Shaganpreet Singh, the manager of Moose Wala, was named as a key plotter in the murder case, Moose Wala came on the radar of the Bishnoi gang. Moose Wala was also close to slain gangster Vicky Gounder, a bitter rival of the Bishnoi gang. While Shaganpreet fled to Australia, Moose Wala couldn't escape the wrath of the Bishnoi gang. With Arvind Ojha, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, as Sidhu Moose Wala's murder has put the spotlight on the gangs of Punjab, my colleague Akshita there explains to us in detail. Let's have a look.
The Punjab police are looking into the gang war angle that perhaps gangsters were behind the killing of Sidhu Moose Wala. And let's take you through the names that you need to be familiar with. Who at this point is the police's lens on? Well, for starters, you have Lawrence Bishnoi. He's a prime suspect. He's lodged in Delhi's Tihar jail, and the suspicion is that while he was behind bars, he actually plotted the murder of Sidhu Moose Wala. Kala Jatedi, his other name is Santosh. He's a gangster, dreaded gangster who's currently in Delhi police remand. Now, they both are known to have worked together. In fact, Kala Jatedi is known to be a very close aide of Lawrence Bishnoi. They've committed several crimes together, and the police suspect that in this case too, in Moose Wala's murder, they were involved. Why was Moose Wala targeted by Lawrence Bishnoi? For that, you need to know who this man is, Vicky Midhukheda. He was, in fact, an associate of Lawrence Bishnoi, was murdered last year in August 2021. By whom? By Moose Wala's manager. Now, his name was Shaganpreet Singh, and after the murder, he fled to Australia. So, Bishnoi, in order to avenge the murder of his close associate, decided to join hands with Goldie Brar. Goldie Brar is another dreaded gangster currently based in Canada. Again, Bishnoi and Brar were close aides. They worked together several times. So with the help of Goldie Brar, according to the police, they plotted the murder of Sidhu Moose Wala. Let me highlight again, the reason for that is to avenge the murder of Vicky Midhukheda. And that's why on Sunday, a day after Moose Wala lost his security cover, he was shot at multiple times in a busy stretch of Mansa in Punjab. So the suspicion is that Lawrence Bishnoi, along with Kala Jatedi and Goldie Brar, actually hatched this murder conspiracy.